What is going on with Genshin Impact lately? Ever since Fontaine was introduced, they have started rolling out more and more quality of life features at a pace faster than we've ever had before. And despite not being everyone's cup of tea, they did add a new endgame mode with the Imaginarium Theater. They increased the resin cap after years and years of people asking. After overhauling the daily commission system, they have made it way better. And for the first time in who knows how long, they actually listened to player feedback and gave a note on how they plan to improve the Imaginarium Theater based on the community feedback received. The devs listened. Let's talk about everything that's new in the quality of life department for 4.8, talk about why this greater trend is happening, and talk about what we might be able to expect with further changes with a new region Natlan incoming. Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. So the main highlights: encounter points can be accumulated, encounter points being the daily commission points that you can get from exploring, doing events, etc. Instead of having to actually do the daily commissions, you can accumulate them, meaning as long as you log in and spend your resin, we'll talk about exactly how it works in a minute, you can do your daily commissions for that day just by spending your resin. Crazy. And also bosses respawn much faster. Let's dive into it. Today we'll be introducing the optimizations that we'll be releasing in version 4.8. We are also monitoring the traveler's feedback when it comes to the Imaginarium Theater, which is honestly huge. I have never seen them respond to people's feedback in this way before. The initial intention behind the design of the Imaginarium Theater was to provide travelers with a new and diverse combat experiences through the introduction of new scenarios. However, there are indeed various shortcomings in the current gameplay, particularly the lack of sufficient positive feedback for different party lineups during battle. It's great that they're recognizing that there are shortcomings and recognizing the people's need. I don't exactly know what they're referring to. Lack of sufficient positive feedback for different party lineups during battle. What exactly does that even mean? Anyways, therefore, in the upcoming adjustments, we will continue to focus on elemental reactions and consider designing more strategically powerful and user-friendly mechanisms for everyone to consider. I like the line strategically powerful. That implies more strategy. I think one of the things that I've seen right now is their only strategy right now is planning out when your units will support when, or will come up when, and what bosses that you'll use each unit, and like saving units for other ones. That's sort of the strategy. There's not as much a strategy around team building, which I personally found interesting and novel, but I can definitely see it's not to everyone's taste for sure. And of course, I'm all for more strategy. The strategy and team building is my jam. And user-friendly mechanisms for everyone to consider. Furthermore, regarding the issue raised by many travelers about the randomness of character acquisition, a mechanic to push specific characters has already been implemented. However, as the effect of the mechanic remains at a subtle level, the actual results are not ideal. What does that exactly... This feels like major translation issues. Like, what exactly are they saying? Like, I don't understand what they're saying. In future iterations, we will also optimize the method of obtaining characters, such as providing multiple options for player to choose from in certain instances of character acquisition. So it's feeling too random, and a mechanic to push specific characters has already been implemented. What does that mean? Like, I can guess, like I can think of some things that it might mean, but as it stands, the words as written don't really mean very much. Like, you can interpret things, but yeah. Optimizations for Imaginarium Theater are currently under development and will continue to be implemented in subsequent updates. We hope that these changes will provide travelers with a better gameplay experience. Yeah, I guess if I was to give my biggest issue is that the mode is more of like a do you have enough units check as opposed to anything else. And it's not the most fun a do you have enough units check, because as soon as you do have enough units and they're well built, the mode becomes very easy, and it's basically impossible if you don't. So you don't really want this sort of binary system where it's either way too easy or pretty much impossible. That's not a very good binary to have. But I think that the bones are in the system to be good. Like, I do enjoy it. Like, I really enjoy it. I really like making new and diverse team comps and non-optimal team comps that are kind of scuffed, and it's kind of fun to try out those different things and have to use kind of scuffed team comps and be creative. I really like that aspect of it, and that's very fun. I just don't like either it's easy or it's impossible, depending on if you have units or not. All right, To help travelers take even more control of their game time, from 4.8 onwards, any excess encounter points you gain will be accumulated and converted to long-term encounter points. Expend original resin through any means, and you'll be able to convert long-term encounter points back into daily encounter points to obtain rewards. For every 30 original resin you expend, you'll be able to convert enough long-term encounter points to obtain 1 reward. Wow, so as long as you have enough long-term encounter points, you can obtain daily rewards just by crafting condensed resin. This is absolutely huge. Now you can just spend your resin, as long as you like do the exploring, and you'll obtain so many encounter points. You do the events, you do some story quests here and there. As long as you do that, you just have to log in and spend your resin, and then you don't have to do this daily commission grind and like think, do I have to do my daily commissions? No, as long as you've played the game in the past, and it's saved throughout the whole version X.0. So as long as you've played the version at some point, you'll be able to collect your daily commissions. This is a fantastic system. I love this. This is the best. This is so good. So people don't have to like save exploration chests or save events for the later days or like all this stuff. This will make it also a lot more palatable for events being shorter now, which no one's talking about, by the way. Why are events like 5 days long now? What the heck? I missed my crown because it ended all out of the blue. I'm pissed. But because what I was doing was I used to save the events and then collect the rewards and like save finishing the event and save collecting rewards for later on so that I could collect encounter points. And I guess that they probably noticed this and they don't want people to do this. Now I can just do the event whenever I want, or do the exploring, or do the quest, or do whatever and save it for later. Oh my god, that's the best. So the next reset will be version 5.0, and then the next one after that is version 6.0. That's a long shelf life. True. In the new version, the respawn time for bosses will be shortened to 10 seconds, with the exception of Lupus, Boreas, Dominator of Wolves. I imagine because he's a weekly boss. I don't know why they wouldn't just make it reset fast anyways, but whatever. I don't think many people are farming the wolf like multiple times. Can you farm a weekly boss multiple times? I guess not, so that's why. Yeah, no, of course you can't. So it doesn't matter. But this is amazing. It's amazing for quick testing. If you want to do testing against bosses, it's amazing for farming. This is just great. It should have been like this already, but hey, better late than never. That's like the whole theme of the Fontaine quality of life update. Spiral Abyss party screen has been optimized. That's the other thing they did, is that they made it so that you can edit your teams and your character's builds in the Spiral Abyss now with version 4.7. That was such a huge change. I couldn't believe it when I found that. It just makes it so much easier, especially for people like myself who test a lot of teams. It was so annoying before, and now it's not. So after the version 4.0 update, you'll be able to drag character avatars when setting up parties, making it easier for you to change positions in different parties. This is great. Doesn't matter for me because I play on controller and there's no way for me to do this, but nice for mobile and mouse. In addition, to help you find the characters you need faster, we've created an Astral Mark status filter option to Spiral Abyss. This is fine, I guess, but why not just let us import teams, right? If we make a team in our teams log, why not have the teams log here so I can select that team for the Spiral Abyss? That just seems like a smart idea. I don't know. New review and hide dialogue features. A dialogue review feature will be added in the new version. You'll be able to view the dialogue records for this segment of the story or listen to the voiceovers. Again, great for people who, like, sometimes I'll be playing a quest and I'm listening, but I'll miss something and then something will happen and I'll be like, wait, what? Did I just miss something? And so this, you can go back and listen. Very nice. Should have been there already, and glad it's here. Aside from this, there'll also be a new feature that lets you hide the dialogue screen, which is honestly sick because sometimes you want to enjoy the cinematics and you can hide the dialogue. And there's also a new hide UI feature. You'll be able to hide the map, party, and other UI elements on the main screen. This is awesome for just like exploring, enjoying the world. Sometimes you don't need to know anything. You know where all the keybinds are, you know what to do, so you just want to explore. Now you can enjoy the world. I will definitely be turning this on for joining Natlan because what do I care? Like, obviously I kind of want to have the map. It'd be cool if I could toggle the map on but everything else off. If it's an easy toggle, it doesn't really matter, as you can just toggle it and then yeah. But like sometimes I like to follow, like when I'm exploring, I like to have a goal, like following a teleport waypoint location. So but yeah, this is super sick just for exploring and for taking photos for people who like to do that. Honestly, super pog. Difficulty of certain domains in Mondstadt and Leeway has adjusted. These domains are crazy. They're so annoying, so I'm very glad that they have been adjusted. Very, very glad. Those are ridiculous domains. To save storage space on the device. Travelers playing on mobile can use the past quest resource management to delete resources from completed quests. Have you ever tried this feature? This is a great feature. It reduced my gigabytes from like 30 to like 20. So go do that if you haven't done that yet. It's awesome. I think they realized that a lot of people didn't know that this feature happened, so they're going to provide a one-time red dot prompt. Good idea. A lot of people just didn't realize that was a thing, and this will save you a lot of storage space. So overall, massive W's all around. Like, everything about this is good, and like Genshin is finally listening to its player base. The only thing left, well, I'll talk about the only thing that's left soon, but first I want to talk about why this is happening. And there's basically one answer, in my opinion, and the answer is competition. And I know everyone's gonna think of Wuthering Waves, and for sure, I do think Wuthering Waves is a part of the competition that Hoyoverse is facing right now, and it's definitely a pretty sizable reason as to why that they're introducing all these quality of life features right now. But don't underestimate the value of internal competition. I understand that obviously, you know, Honkai Star Rail is still a Hoyoverse game. So if you quit Genshin and go to Honkai Star Rail, Hoyoverse is still winning. But these are run by different teams within a big company like this. And they don't really, like, they don't want to lose money. Even if, like, they would rather you play both than just one or the other. And each division of a team, if you've ever worked for a big company, you know that even though everyone in the company is on the same team, you can still have sort of little rivalries between different departments and different divisions of the company. And absolutely, if Honkai Star Rail is crushing it, the Genshin Impact team is going to say, hey, they're crushing it. These things are working. People are happy about these things. Genshin Impact team is going to be like, how can we get some of that action? How can we increase our bottom line? Because at the end of the day, they want to increase the bottom line. And if the features won't take away from Star Rail, then of course they'd want to introduce them. I think that saving the features for Star Rail first was very smart. It's like, hey, look at all these quality of life features in Star Rail. Come check out this game. And then bringing them all to Genshin later. It's like, hey, the features are all here now. Come on back and check it out. I don't think that that's a coincidence. And I think what supports this idea of internal competition very heavily, in my opinion, is all the features we've gotten for Genshin Impact. Aside from some of the ones that are brand new, like the encounter points thing that is in Genshin that's not in Star Rail, although in Star Rail you can basically just spend your resin and get your daily commissions anyways, so it's already kind of like that. But it seems like they borrow most of the quality of life from Star Rail more than they borrow it from Wuthering Waves. And I also don't think it's a coincidence that with Zenless Zone Zero coming out, Genshin still wants to retain its player base. Yeah, they're fine if you go play ZZZ and you don't play Genshin, but they would prefer that you play both. And the Genshin team would prefer that you play Genshin, and the ZZZ team would prefer that you play ZZZ, because I do believe that there is like a little bit of internal competition. Like, they're creating their own gacha monopoly by having them like outcompete each other. But that's my opinion. That's not necessarily based on anything except for like having worked in big companies with different divisions, just understanding human psychology. I think this is a fair point that yes, definitely Wuthering Waves is causing the competition to go up for Genshin, but also Genshin's own game, Star Rail and ZZZ, are another source of internal competition that is a big reason for Genshin making the game better for all of us. The only feature we're still missing in Genshin that Genshin could never is a free 5-star of some kind. And whether it's a free standard banner 5-star, whether it's a free limited 5-star, whatever it ends up being, we still have not received a free 5-star. So when we're looking ahead to quality of life in Natlan, what are we looking at? What is even left? Artifact loadouts, proper artifact loadouts that hardcore players wanted. More endgame modes. I expect that towards the end of Natlan, we will get another endgame combat mode. I expect them to focus on Imaginarium Theater and improving it and making it better and adding all these improvements throughout Natlan. But at the end, I expect we'll get another one. Or they'll use the Imaginarium Theater system, kind of like Star Rail uses the Simulated Universe, and they'll make variations on Imaginarium Theater that are very different from the current one that we have, and will be maybe like one-time modes or special reward modes where you'll earn some sort of weapon or something like that. Like they're already doing. It kind of flew under the radar yet because it's not like a super serious endgame mode, but it is a little mode where you have to play a permanent game mode, and by playing it, you unlock these special effects for some of the characters. So you play a little mode with Jean, and it's a permanent game mode. It's not like an end game mode. I wouldn't call it. But Jean, Kirara, Chi-Chi, Diluc, and Ningguang, such random characters. But you play this little mode and you unlock these little skins. And I'm sure that they'll add more of this. But I think that they'll use the Imaginarium Theater platform to add even more robust endgame modes in the future. They're probably going to focus for a little while on improving Imaginarium Theater at a baseline. Then once they feel like they have that done, maybe introduce, you know, the Eternal Theater or the Divergent Theater or some other version of Imaginarium Theater that's separate and different and will be alongside Imaginarium Theater, but it'll be in that same area, and maybe it'll be more exploratory based. It'll be a one-time clear kind of dungeon based thing, and it'll be kind of like Imaginarium Theater, but also kind of not. And so I expect them to expand on it in more ways and do more stuff. And I do expect at some point during Natlan, I do expect a free 5-star. I was a doubter through Fontaine, but I am a believer for Natlan. At some point during Natlan, I think we will get a free 5-star, whether it's a standard banner or whether it's a limited one, like a new one, like Dr. Ratio was for Star Rail. I think we'll get a free 5-star Natlan. Clown on me all you want if we don't get it, but that is my prediction. Let me know what you think. Let me know if Genshin is on the up and up for you. I think that Genshin will still never be the hardcore game that some people want it to be, but I think that Genshin really is improving for a lot of us that have stuck with it, and a lot of us that like what it is. We like the direction that it's going now. There were a lot of us who liked what it is, but I think very few people were really excited about like the trading card game direction. But the Imaginarium Theater direction, yeah, it's not perfect, but the direction that they're going, especially that they've said that they're going to improve it, all of the quality of life things, I think a lot of us that like the game like the direction that Genshin is going. That's what I think, but let me know what you think. Let me know where you stand. Take care. Bye for now.